Hi, I'm Sharon Lynn, and if you haven't noticed, I'm very camera shy. So I'm going to try to do this voice channeling in the camera instead of on my voice record today. Let's see, what did I want to talk to you about today? It's really going to be what they want to talk to you about today. So let's see if we have anything that they want to bring through and talk to you about. Hopefully it's clear information and it helps you a lot, and that's my main reason for doing this. I just want to help people. I've been wanting to help people my whole life, and I never thought I was going to be a healer, or even though I'm a Reiki master now, but I didn't even think I could. When I first became a Reiki master, I realized I have to, put my hands on people, and I was like shy about it and uncomfortable. So and they also said I was going to be a teacher, and I also don't like talking in front of people, and so I never thought that was going to happen, and it turned out happening that I talked in front of lots of people before, although now it's like starting over because it's been so long that I did my classes. It's been at least 6 years where I haven't done my big classes anymore, since I don't have my center anymore because the doctor closed where I was had my center. So it's just a whole different thing, and now I want to help again. Now that I'm home from work because of COVID, I can't go to work. I'm an esthetician, and I wear a headset, and I have to be like 2 inches from someone's face when I'm doing extractions, and I have severe asthma, allergies, high blood pressure, and I'm definitely high risk, which the doctor doesn't want me going to work. That's not really an option for me right now until COVID, and so I'm not really sure what's going to happen, what direction I'm going to go, and I'm just at the mercy of whatever's going to happen, and hopefully we get our unemployment, which they're arguing about right now, but if not, I know God's going to take care of me. Jesus is here. He said I will have enough, and I know I will. I just have to keep my faith and know that I'll be able to pay my bills and all that. And so if you're going through that, just know that you will get the help. You will get helped by God, and just trust that somehow, some way you'll have what you need, and just try to believe that. And somehow you might see a miracle come in and help you when you need it the most. And I pray that for all of you to have that too. And so far, I've had everything I've needed since this whole thing started, and I don't go out a lot, except now I go walking once in a while with my daughter, but she works in the hospital, so it's not the best thing to be that close to her, even though she isn't a nurse. She works in an area of the hospital where she sees a lot of nurses, and I used to be in the medical field for 30 years in the same hospital as her, so it's not easy, that type of job. It's stressful. And so she's doing that. So we go, walking outside and stuff. And now we just had a hurricane, so I had to sleep at her house. But lucky thing, we've been together enough that we're immune to each other, I'm hoping. And there was nothing I could do about it. I can't stay in my place. I had to evacuate, even though the hurricane didn't really hit us. In Florida, we still had to prepare. So that's what happened. So now that I'm rambling, I'm hoping I can help people, and I don't know what you need, and if you have any questions about anything, I can try to help you with anything you want. I've seen the dimensions, I've lived the dimensions, I actually stepped in and out of them, and I've been doing this most of my life, even as a little child. I heard so many voices, I would be freaking out because it sounded like, my head was like, so many at the same time. And what I didn't know was like spirits were talking to me, kind of like the Sixth Sense kid on TV, that movie. And, Angelique, what happened? And then, it was scary. So eventually I learned to block it. Of course, I told my mom eventually, and she took me to the doctor, and they said, oh, you're watching too much TV, you have a wild imagination, and, they never believed me. Anyway, so I just wanted to tell you guys that hang in there, everything's going to be okay. I saw nothing but good things for everyone. I saw a beautiful earth and a beautiful peace on earth with no war and everything fine, and we just have to hang in there. We had to like break it down, kind of like the Tower card in the Tarot. We had to let everything break down so that we can rebuild it into something better. And I know that's going to happen real soon. We just had to uncover a lot of things that are happening out there in our government, in our world, and around the world, and all the other things that are happening out there with the children, which we can only pray about. But there is good in the world, and there's so many good people and so many people that want to help people. And what I've done lately is just kind of isolated. I saw so many things were happening. I started isolating in the last year or two. I used to be out in the crowds and drum circles and playing drums for people and belly dancing for many years, and mostly for 20 years I've been hosting drum circles. And when I started drum circles, I was on my farm when I actually got a 4-acre horse farm from a lady that found me from my picture in the One Heart magazine when I was advertising there, and she came and asked me if I wanted to live on her place and just pay to maintain it, which was about my rent. And I was like, no, I can't move. I have my dance studio here and this and that. She's like, just go look at it. She was from Brazil, and I went and looked at it with my daughter. I was like, oh my God, yes. But it was before internet and everything. So when I did move there, I had to put signs all the way out to the street, which was like far, like we were inside, like where everything was in 4 acres apart. But we weren't that far from like the main stores and stuff, but it was all word of mouth. And I did have, some groups there, but nothing like what would have happened if we had the internet. And I lived there for like 4 or 5 years, and it was really nice and quiet and beautiful. So many different things have happened. And I forgot to tell you, I did draw a picture of that exact farm and was manifesting it for years when it happened, because the picture looks just like it. Even the fence, the way the fence was, and the house the way it was, and the pond that was next to it. And we did make like a little food. We had like a group gardening thing, but many things have manifested in my lifetime, spiritually, and so that I could help. And I guess I was running away from it for a while, because I got to the point that so many people I was putting up with different, being attacked by different people for my beliefs and what I was saying. And, I had a following, and then I also had people that were like doing things to me and betraying me like they do to other people that are spiritually doing things, especially then. It was like before its time. And and then I would go on sabbatical for a while. After a while, like I would do little sabbaticals every once in a while. Like I just had enough of being in all that energy, and I'm like more of a loner type of person. I like need a lot of alone time. I'm doing my spiritual work, and even if I'm never bored. I always have something that I'm doing. And so about 3 weeks ago, I received that we were getting another energy upgrade on the 7th, 8th, and 9th from 3 and 4 a.m. around the globe. So now I'm hearing a lot about Lionsgate, which I didn't even know about. So I'm not sure what's happening with that. But the Leo King doesn't think that that's a thing. So I was kind of interested in that because I didn't know about it either. But I did channel the energy upgrade and actually feel a lot more energized today, because actually here it started at 3 o'clock in the morning, so it was Thursday night into Friday. And I'm feeling a lot better today than I did the day before, because I've been having severe allergies, and every day I have severe asthma and allergies, so it makes me feel like I can't breathe, and my lungs get all tight and scary. So today I actually felt better, and I also felt like happier. and I feel more clear about things. So I'm hoping you do too, and you may have seen things shift in and out, like things look a little unstable. Years ago, I was shown a vortex of energy through a shamanic journey, and that shamanic journey is what took me into my path of searching. I searched from teacher to teacher, trying to find out what was happening and where I was supposed to be going. I knew I had something to do for God. I didn't know what it was. I knew I had to leave New York and come to Florida. So here I am for the last over 20 years. I came in 95, and God made it possible too, because I had no idea about any of this. I was afraid of meditation. One time I went to meditate in New York, even though since I was a little kid, I was very psychic and always, channeled things and heard things. I didn't really know how to use it. So I went to meditate, and I was like, left my body, and I felt like I couldn't come back, and it was very scary. So after that, I was afraid of meditation. And so, of course, I went to classes for years, and then I now feel a lot better because I can handle my energy a lot better. Because when I was young, I had telekinesis. I would turn radios on. Anything that was electronic would go crazy around me. So my energy was scattered all over the place. And now I've learned to channel it and bring it together into my body, so I'm not like making everything go haywire. So if you're having that problem, that's probably the same thing that happened to me when I woke up. It's just, my bird is driving me crazy. I don't like her staying in the cage a lot, so she flies over to me because I didn't clip her wings again, and she flies all around the house, and she doesn't give me a break. So here she is trying to climb all over me when I'm trying to talk to you. But anyway, so you want to do the voice channeling? Would you like to talk to the camera and the people? No? Okay. Anyway, so hopefully things have gotten better after all this. I mean, it's almost like everything had to get crazy before it got better. And that's exactly what's happening. It's very chaotic, and people don't know who to believe, and there's just a lot of, arguing out there, and all we can do is pray, and that really, really helps a lot with the prayers and helping people. It really helps a lot with making things better, and just know that God's there. He's not going to give us more than we can handle, and Jesus is always there for you. If you believe in Jesus, I believe in Jesus. If I even think about him, he will just come, and I see him clearly, and he always makes me feel better. And anytime I feel like a little uncomfortable, or if I'm getting upset, I get anxiety because of my breathing. I get a lot of anxiety attacks. If you feel like that, just go sit in the silence for a minute and ask for a healing, and I always feel better after that. I always feel calmer, and I can talk straight. But the last few months, I feel like every time I go to talk, I can't talk straight. It seems like I'm getting better today a little bit. I feel like they said it was part of the process because we're going so fast that a lot of people can't talk straight. And I noticed it happened to me, and then I started seeing people on TV doing it too, and maybe not as much on the YouTube videos because they cut it out. But if you feel like that's happening, just know that's from the speeding up process. And a lot of times things happen to me before they happen to everyone else, and that's probably because I've been doing this work for a really long time, and I also travel back and forth in the different dimensions, mostly through meditation or journeys or through my channeling, but also when I'm sleeping, and even when I'm awake, I'm working, they say, but Sometimes I feel really tired, and I'm helping them work, out there in the universes. And I know a lot of you are doing the same thing as me. It's not just me. And a lot of people are doing the same thing, and maybe going ahead of time too. And I used to be so excited when I came here in my 40s, 30, maybe late 30s, 40s, and I wanted to know everything. I told everybody everything. I was telling everyone about the aliens and this and that, because I always knew about that. I always knew about, aliens and people from other planets. And I used to say all the things about the Matrix, and then they made the Matrix movie, and then I seen all the things about the Fifth Element, and then they made the Fifth Element movie. But I actually visited a vortex of energy that I found through a shamanic journey. And every time I went on my shamanic journey, I was taken to a place where I walked around behind a waterfall. And when I had this journey every time, the same thing would happen. So I was working at a place in a store, teaching with my teacher, and then I began teaching there. And I met someone there, and he showed me this park, which in the nighttime, it was different than in the daytime. And when I went there, I don't even know if he knew what was actually happening there. He said it had energy and stuff, but he didn't see everything that I saw. And it was definitely a vortex where I saw everything shifting, changing. I would see things fading in and out. You could see the different dimensions. And I knew I was in a special place. And I don't think I would have found that unless I went to my journeys. But I didn't have any idea that that's what was actually happening until later on. I mean, I told my teacher I wanted her to come there, and she did come there. And then we started doing some channeling there. And then they said the Galactic was going to come and give us a healing. And they did come and give us a healing, actually, and remove implants in my nose and in her uterus. Well, actually, no, that was in her head. We also had implants in our uterus too. So they didn't have to take us on any ship. They just came down and gave us the energy. And I was like, well, I can't see you. Why can't I see you? We were like, they said, come back a different day, and we were going to have them come and meet. And then we had all this interference. I'm making a long story short, but it was way longer than that. And I'm actually writing a book about it if I ever get the book out. But it's getting harder and harder to remember because it was already 20 years ago, and I kept saying I was writing a book, and then I never wrote the book. Well, I wrote the book, and it's written, but I haven't edited it because it's just so much stuff that it's just a lot, and I get overwhelmed by it. I think I need some help with it, but eventually, hopefully, I'll do it. And I never really did videos or YouTube or any of that because I was working all the time, and then I got caught up in my esthetician work, and all I did is work, and it was like I was too exhausted to do anything else after. So I was doing my spiritual work, but I wasn't actually out there doing my spiritual work. I used to teach every day and teach yoga and teach, here she comes again, and teach yoga and things like that. And every day of the week I had a different class. I taught psychic development, and we did many exercises, and some of them I've made those videos, and you'll see them on my channel. But I just feel really weird talking to a camera because I always would talk in the class and give that to the people right then and there who needed it. The channeling would come right through. I would just show up to the class, and I knew they were coming to help. And I would voice channel my class because later on I'd be like, I don't even remember, but they always helped me with the classes, and it was geared to whoever was there. With YouTube, there are so many people that I know that it's going to get to whoever needs to get the information, and I know the guides are going to give me that information for you guys. I wanted to explain to you what it feels like when you have most of your 5D body, because I know I've had that before when I was in the Vortex over 20 years ago in Boynton Beach, Florida, was where I had this experience. It was right by the beach, by the water, and so every time we were going to the Vortex, it was good energy. Suddenly it started to get to be yucky energy, and I said, something's wrong, there's a ship under the water. I kept saying that, and that was before they even found ships under the water. Like, that was a long time ago, but I was like, I know there's a ship under the water. Nobody believed me. Nobody really believed in any of that. And also, when the ships did come, the good ones that came through the Vortex that day, it looked like a lineup, like triangles across the sky. And I had no proof of it, but me and my teacher did see it, and it was amazing. That was the day they said to be there, and they came in and gave us our healing and helped us with implants, but I couldn't see them, and I think it was because I wasn't a high enough vibration to see them, and they said that we're standing right here, but I couldn't see them, and neither could she. As intuitive or psychic as we are, we couldn't see them. We just couldn't, because they were just way above our dimension. And even though I was shown like different dimensions, but anyway, so the bad ETs started to come in, and I had the grays come in. And what happened is I was very attracted to everything back then. So every day I want to run to the Vortex because I just loved it. It was so exciting to me and so much fun to go there. So one night I went with this guy. He was a friend of the guy that showed me that place, and I just happened to go there, and he was there too. So we started to walk into the parking lot area of this park, and I started to see the energy started pushing me back. And it was one of the things they would do there. If the energy wasn't right, we would feel like pushing, like we're getting ushered out. And of course, no, I don't listen. So I decided I'm going to go in there, and I started to see grays in the tree, in all the trees, like they were etheric grays, and they were huge. And they started to attack us, and somehow my pointer finger just started having this energy. And I just kept going back and forth, and it was like the weirdest thing, and it felt like my head was above my head. I just knew everything, like in front of me, behind me, everywhere. It was the best feeling I ever had. It was like almost like I had a cone head and eyes in the back of my head and everything. It was the best feeling ever, and I can't wait to get that again. And I only had it that one day, that one time, because I needed it, because I was being attacked. And I do this kind of work out there, out of my physical body, but not in my physical body. So it was very weird. And they came in and gave me that energy for that day, including my finger, because I was being attacked. And one of the grays tried to swarm into my third eye, and somehow I blocked it off. And I just kept going like this and back and forth, and taking out all the grays until finally it was over. And after that, things got calm again, and everything was good. I had this, I call it the Battle of the Grays, and we left there. And after that, I worked in the hospital and outside a trauma door, because I was on the trauma floor, and I worked in critical care for 7 years, and in all the units. And I was outside trauma door. That's where my office was. And all I asked my boss was for one chair, because I wanted people to be able to, the nurses to be able to come in there if they wanted to sit, because they had such stressful, traumatic jobs, especially in trauma, and people would come in there, And so that's what would happen. They'd come in there and sit in my chair and vent, kind of, and they needed to, and they would just tell me stuff, and sometimes they would even cry. It's very upsetting when they have multiple line patients and they are only one, and we're short-staffed, and they would be afraid and scared. They're saving people's lives, and they're trying to take care of people and being short-staffed. Sometimes it was just really scary for them. And my one nurse friend, every time I point my finger, she'd be like, stop pointing your finger at me. Like the energy, like my energy was too much. Like anytime I was pointing, people were like bugging out. If they feel energy, they were like, and even people that didn't, like I had to be real careful about pointing my finger for a while after that. It was like, even though my feeling on my head went away, my finger still was active, and all this energy was still coming out of it for a long time. I don't think it's there anymore, but I wish it was, and I wish I had that feeling again, and I can't wait to be in 5D and have that again, because it was the best feeling in the world. It's just the best feeling in the world, and we're all going to have that feeling really soon, and I can't wait. And I can't wait to teleport, and that everybody is telepathic. I'm a lot telepathic, but not as much as I could be or have been. And we all are going to be telepathic, and we're all going to be able to teleport, and we won't even need to use cars anymore, and there won't be fighting because we'll understand each other when we're all telepathic. And I can't wait for that day to come, which it's coming soon. So this energy upgrade is actually going to be helping bridge us from 3D into 4D, through the 4D to the 5D, third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension. We're going to start to shift, and for the next 3 days we're going to have upgrades that are going to help us with the shift. And so you may see things fading in and out and unstable, like when I was at the Vortex. If you would go to stand on the ground, it would look like it was moving. And I even took like a boyfriend there, and I took some students from the class there, and they all felt the energy. I took friends there, like everyone that I took there that was from my class and spiritual people that felt the energy, they were all feeling this energy. It was just amazing. But this park did have another dimension in the back of it. It was a druid lifetime, and the trees had some real funny energy and good energy at the same time. So I didn't even finish telling you about the waterfall. So somehow we would, every time we went to this vortex, we had to go in a different way, or we were getting pushed out. The first time we went, they said you have to come back later, and we were like pushed out. They said come back at a different time, and we had to do like a ceremony to be welcomed in by the nature spirits. And so that happened. We went back and we did that, and after that we were welcomed in, and nobody knew what was going on, because in the daytime it was a picnic place and a beach, a regular beach, and it's actually Brittany Breeze's, and I lived not far from there. But it was like, it's like a beach place, and they would have like they had like barbecues up there, and the trees would like come up into like a vortex. So in the daytime people were barbecuing, and then at night, to me, it shifted. So even the messenger that showed me that place, we were there one night, and he did not see us, and he was standing, like, we didn't call him or anything, but I feel like he was in a different dimension than us, that it shifted us into a different dimension than him, and we were like right there, and he didn't even see us. He was just hanging out over there, and then he went away, but he didn't see us at all. And we were in the middle of doing like our little ceremonies and with the Galactic, and it was just, he didn't even see us. So it was a very amazing time in my life that I wish I had again, and I only got to have that once, but I want that again. And I can't wait for us to be in 5D, because I already kind of know what it feels like, and it's just the best thing. So the other lifetime I had was with the angels, and it was a vision I had. So in this shamanic journey, every time I went on this shamanic journey, we went around the back, on this path, around this waterfall, and in the back, and then I'd go see all the angels, and then we'd be playing Ring Around the Rosie, like with the angels. That was my vision. So sure enough, every time we went in a different way. So this one time we went in the back, and then we were coming up the back, and my teacher said, that used to be a waterfall. And that water used to be here. And I'm like, yeah, that looks like a waterfall. Sure enough, I'm most positive that was a waterfall from my vision. And you had to walk up the back exactly how it is. It's dry now. There's nothing but, you know, it looks like a waterfall could be there, but it's all dry. And when you go up the back, it's like this round parking lot. And that's where I played Ring Around the Rosie with the angels. And then it was just amazing because that is where it ended up being the Vortex. And it was just an amazing time. I know it sounds unbelievable, but it's true. And many things started happening there. After we started doing this, we would have to hide to voice channel. It was like we were being listened to. There was shape-shifting helicopters. I mean, my whole life, there was helicopters over my car. It's like they're watching you. And they would shape-shift and change into something else. And this was happening a lot. One time, me and my daughter were at the Vortex. We had to hide from the helicopter. It was hovering. And it's like almost like when you are psychic, they can see you from above. And now people are saying that's true, but I don't know because I don't really know much about real technology or anything. I just know what I've known my whole life. And now there's actually, I think people are saying that these things are true, but I didn't know that. I just knew it because I just knew stuff. I just know stuff from, I guess, the Akashic or just from God or my knowing. And it was such an amazing time. So I guess I'll end this here, and we can always talk more about the Vortex later. But I just want you to know that this energy upgrade is kind of like that, and you may see things fading in and out. You may not see it. Not everybody's going to see it. Like the guy didn't see us there, but even if you don't see anything, just know that you're going to get it, and you'll probably be sleeping. So just know you're getting it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to meditate. You don't have to do anything. You're just going to get the energy upgrade. Everyone on Earth is going to get the energy upgrade. And some will be open to it. Some may block it, unconsciously, if they're on the other side or whatever. But in my opinion, everyone's going to get this. You don't have to do any certain meditation. You don't have to do anything. You just might just feel better or a little more uplifted after these shifts take place. Already I feel like a lot better, and I feel like just from one day of it, and I feel a lot better. I tried to stay up last night and see what was going on, and I just passed out, and that was the end of it. And by the time I woke up, it was already past 4 o'clock. So it was already, the shift was already over. According to what I channeled, it was between 3 and 4 a.m. around the globe. But I just know everyone's gonna go, and some people are saying you have to do meditation, you have to do this, you have to be in your body, and this and that. And honestly, you don't have to do anything, because there's children out there that they don't know anything. They're gonna get upgraded. They're probably wiser than we are. And then even my bird, she's been acting so weird lately. Like, she's seeing things. She's flying around like a crazy woman. I'm actually gonna have to get her wings clipped again because she's acting a little weird, and she starts chirping at things that aren't there, and flipping out about things that aren't even happening. Like, I know she sees more than I do. And they did tell me, I had a vision, I don't know, I think it was around 2011, and I'm gonna get the picture. In 2011, I had a vision. I was standing by the water, and I looked down, and I saw the earth going into almost like a vortex funnel cloud. Like, not a cloud, like a vortex. And I saw the earth going up into it and shifting. What I didn't realize I knew that was shifting, but into a higher dimension, but I didn't realize what was actually happening, like fourth, fifth dimension. And then the more years went by, I'm hearing other people talking about that. But anyway, this picture I painted a couple of years ago, and it's kind of, I'm not the perfect artist. So this was us now, and this is the 4D. So I would say that's 3D, this is 4D, and this is how I saw us going into 5D. And this part over here is the vortex that we shifted up, and there it is. And this, I did this vision. This was a picture from my vision, and you know, I had the water there, and there was a wall actually where I was sitting. So that's the wall, and then that's the moon, and the earth was just traveling up. And this is us. We're going to be in 5D. And I saw this in 2011, a vision, and they said that the birds are going to go first and to, you know, follow the birds. So I think that's why she's acting a little crazy, and that also that the children are going to go, all the children are going to go. And so there's no worry that you have to know anything or do anything. Yes, I love doing meditation. I like teaching meditation. I like helping people with meditation, and that helps you get, you know, a little more in tune with your body. It helps you with healing. It helps you with everything. But in my opinion, you don't have to do anything to shift. God is going to have us all shift if we want to. It's all up to you. It's really all up to you. If you want to shift, you're going to shift. And the people that don't know anything about this stuff, they're still going to shift. If they're good people, unless they made a contract that before they were born that they're just pure evil and they don't want to shift, they're not going to shift. They're going to stay here on the old 3D earth. But other than that, anyone that is a human being on this earth, they could even be a bad person right now, but, or, you know, not bad, but, you know, like not pure evil, but there's good in everybody unless they're soulless, which we have some of that going on right now, and, you know, some different kind of reptilians or whatever out there, and different bad ETs that are out there that are doing stuff. But unless it's like that, you don't really have to worry. And you're going to go, and the children are going to go, and we're just all going to be in 5D, and it's going to be beautiful, and everything's going to be perfect. So just know that what we're going through right now is not what you're going to go through forever. It's almost, we're going to be finished with it soon. Time is so speeding up so quickly. Just know there is light at the end of the tunnel, and then there is hope at the end of the tunnel, and that it's all going to work out, and everyone's going to be able to go, and it's all good. Just know it's all good. So I wish you blessings, and thank you to my guides for helping me ramble, which maybe that was coming from me, but I just decided I would talk to you today and try to talk to you personally instead of being afraid of the camera and say a million times. And even though I've been a professional belly dancer my whole life and performing on stages all over, but I've always had stage fright my whole life, and now I have camera fright for some reason. I don't know why. It's a stupid camera, but I just feel weird about it, and I'm trying to get used to it, and I just feel like I gotta know that you're really out there, and that I'm talking to real people, and that you're really there. And you know, get over the way I look now and all that stuff as I'm aging, and it's just a little weird, but stop it, Twiggy. Anyway, it's all good, and just know you're gonna be okay. Everybody's gonna be okay. Your children are gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Follow your instincts. Don't listen to everybody out there. Put your hand on your heart and say, is this the right thing for me to do? Is this really the right thing for me to do? And you'll just breathe, and you'll know, you'll hear it in your head. You'll say yes or no. You'll hear it or you'll know it, and you'll do the right thing. We all have our instincts. Just follow your own instincts instead of listening to everybody else. You may get confirmation from other people, but try to listen to yourself, because you know the truth about you and your family and what's best for you and your children and grandchildren. I have 3 grandchildren. I don't get to see them much. They're in Pennsylvania. My daughter's there. And, you know, I know they're going to be okay. My daughter doesn't practice any of the things that I practice. My second daughter, my oldest, and she's a good girl. She takes care of her children, and she may not be spiritually aware like the things that I do, and she makes fun of me and they make fun of me, my whole life. But my other daughter, she's finally coming to be like me, my younger one, and we're together all the time because she lives here in Florida, and she is turning into a little mini me, like a prodigy. And of course she is very aware because she's younger than me and an indigo, and she's born that way, and she's just coming into it now because she was running away from all of her spiritual stuff because she saw so many people attacking me and ridiculing me and making fun of me all my life and her life. So she was kind of running away from it, but now she's not running away from it anymore, and she's starting to embrace it, and she's pretty intuitive. So just know you'll come into everything in your time, and it's all good, and God is with you, and Jesus is with you, and any of your guides or whoever you believe in is with you. Just know you are going to be okay. It's almost over. Just trust your intuition. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Why not? If it's going to maybe help, at least try. We got to get rid of this virus. And if you don't believe in masks, that's okay. But I have a really hard time wearing a mask because I have asthma and I can't even breathe without the mask. So, but I do wear it. I don't want to be coughing on anybody. I don't want anybody, scaring anybody either. I've had people making fun of me for wearing a mask when I'm outside, or looking at me in a bad way, like as if I'm doing something wrong. But you know what? I don't care. If I'm going to save somebody else, and if there's a hope that I could save somebody else, that I'm not going to give them something or my germs, if God forbid I'm some kind of a carrier, then I'm going to do it. And so that's your choice. You put your hand on your heart and you make your decision. But I do think working in the hospital and working in my esthetician job, that it definitely helps. I wore a mask to work during every session that I did for the last 6 years on clients. And I'm right in their face, and they're talking, and they come to me sick and everything. And everyone in there was always sick, and I didn't get sick. And I think that's why I didn't get sick too, because I always wore a mask. And I do believe that it helps, because it helped me a lot. And sometimes I double masked it. If I knew they were really sick, I would double mask it, because I needed to make sure that I wasn't going to catch what they had. And you know what? I did stay safe through people coming to work with colds and flus, and many of them are way younger than me. And I worked with massage therapists and estheticians in a big franchise, so it was constant. We're all on top of each other all day long, and we're all together in one tiny little break room. And you're in your tiny little room, and I work in a room without a sink, so I had to use the hand sanitizer every 5 minutes, doing my work. And which is one reason I can't go back. I can't go back to a sinkless room, and can't even wash my hands either right now. So, in there, and I just didn't feel safe doing that. But just know it's all good. And I send you prayers and blessings, and I send you lots of love, light, and energy. And from myself and little Angelica, blessings.